Calaroga Shark Media.
Welcome back to TV in the Basement, your dungeon for all things fantasy, horror, and drama. I'm your host, Journey Joe Mitchell, and today we're diving into the world of Westeros once again with the first season of HBO's hotly anticipated Game of Thrones prequel series, House of the Dragon. Based on George R.R. Martin's novel Fire and Blood, House of the Dragon takes place nearly 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, during the height of the Targaryen dynasty's reign. The series chronicles the beginning of the end for the dragon-riding royal family, as a succession crisis and internal rivalries threaten to tear the Seven Kingdoms apart and pave the way for the eventual fall of the Targaryens in the civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. At the center of the story is King Viserys I Targaryen, played by Paddy Considine, a well-meaning but weak-willed ruler who struggles to maintain peace and stability in the realm. When Viserys names his daughter Rhaenyra, played by Millie Alcock as a young woman, and Emma Darcy as an adult, as his heir, it sets off a chain of events that will have far-reaching consequences for the Targaryen dynasty and the future of Westeros. The cast of House of the Dragon is one of the show's greatest strengths, with a mix of veteran performers and rising stars bringing the complex and often morally gray characters to life. Alcock and Darcy are both revelations as Rhaenyra, depicting the character's transformation from a headstrong young princess to a formidable and ruthless queen in her own right. And Olivia Cooke as Alicent Hightower, Rhaenyra's childhood friend turned bitter rival, whose own children become key players in the unfolding drama. One of the most talked about aspects of House of the Dragon's first season was its depiction of the complex and often brutal world of Westerosi politics. The show doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of life in a medieval-inspired fantasy world, with scenes of violence, sexual assault, and incest that some viewers found shocking or gratuitous. However, others praised the series for its unflinching portrayal of the corrupting influence of power, and the ways in which women in particular are often victimized and marginalized in patriarchal societies. This theme is particularly prevalent in the show's treatment of Rhaenyra and Alicent, two women who are pitted against each other in a struggle for control of the Iron Throne. As young girls, the two are close friends, but as they grow older and the political stakes get higher, their relationship becomes strained and eventually shatters altogether. The show doesn't paint either character as a pure hero or villain, but rather as complex and flawed individuals trying to navigate a treacherous world where their gender is often seen as a liability. Another key theme of the series is the destructive power of unchecked ambition, and the ways in which the pursuit of power can corrupt even the most well-intentioned individuals. The first season of House of the Dragon is also notable for its stunning visuals and high production values. The show's depiction of the Targaryen court and the various locations throughout Westeros is lavish and immersive, with intricate costumes, sprawling sets, and CGI dragons that are seamlessly integrated into the live-action footage. The show's action sequences are also a highlight, with thrilling scenes of dragon combat and medieval warfare that rival anything seen in Game of Thrones. However, the season is not without its flaws and controversies. Some viewers criticize the show's pacing, particularly in the early episodes, which can feel slow and exposition-heavy as the series works to establish its large cast of characters and complex web of political alliances. Others took issue with the show's graphic depictions of violence and sexual content, which some felt were gratuitous and exploitative. There were also some behind-the-scenes controversies that arose during the show's production. In particular, the decision to replace Millie Alcock with Emma Darcy as the adult Rhaenyra was met with some backlash from fans who had grown attached to Alcock's performance. While Darcy's portrayal of the character is undeniably strong, some viewers felt that the transition was jarring and took them out of the story. Despite these issues, House of the Dragon's first season was a critical and commercial success, drawing in millions of viewers each week and generating a huge amount of buzz and discussion online. The show's intricate plotting, richly drawn characters, and stunning visuals all contributed to its popularity, as did its connections to the larger Game of Thrones mythology and the promise of further exploring the history and lore of Westeros. The season's most memorable episodes include the premiere, which sets the stage for the conflict to come and introduces us to the key players in the Targaryen court. The fifth episode, which features a shocking and brutal confrontation, and the season finale, which sees the simmering tensions between the various factions finally erupt into open warfare and sets the stage for the coming Dance of the Dragons. In terms of awards and accolades, House of the Dragon has already made a strong showing, with several nominations and wins at various awards shows. The show's cast and crew have been praised for their work, with particular attention being paid to the performances of Considine, Smith, Alcock, and Darcy, as well as the show's writing, directing, and visual effects. Looking back on the first season of House of the Dragon, it's clear that the series has successfully carved out its own identity while still feeling like a natural extension of the Game of Thrones universe. By focusing on a different time period and a different set of characters, the show is able to explore new themes and ideas while still delivering the kind of epic storytelling and jaw-dropping moments that fans have come to expect from the franchise. Of course, the show is not without its flaws and controversies, and there will undoubtedly be debates and discussions about its depiction of violence, sex, and gender roles for years to come. But overall, House of the Dragon's first season is a promising start to what could be a truly epic and memorable series, one that has the potential to stand alongside its predecessor as a defining work of fantasy television. If you'd like to receive episodes of this podcast commercial-free, as well as the other programs from Calaroga Shark Media, including a show I think you'd love called Monsters, Sharks, and Dinosaurs, alongside daily comedy news, 5 good news stories, 5 daily trivia questions, and a whole lot more, visit calaroga.supportingcast.fm, check the show notes for a link. I'm Journey Joe Mitchell, and next week we'll begin taking a look back at the original Game of Thrones.